conversations, to still be present, to still try to breastfeed. So I remember Bobby came into the room with me and he said the baby threw up the Similac. The nurse said, do you think you could breastfeed? Don't put pressure on yourself if you can't, but the baby's not taking the Similac. And I said, I'll try it, no problem. And she latched on to that, no problem. And I said, we're going to get through it. We're going to be okay. We came home 5 days later because I needed time to be in the hospital to recuperate. They wanted to make sure that I wasn't, because of the surgery, I wasn't going to bleed out again. And it was just safer that way, to always be monitored. And of course my Facebook had exploded with, hey, did you have the baby? Did you do this? Did you do that? And I remember I wrote a post on it like, thank you everybody for your concerns about my crotch. Yes, I gave birth. It was great. You know, it's funny because I think about it now because I'm very candid with what I write. And that was, in a weird way, the beginning of that. I didn't know it then, but that was the beginning of me saying, I'm going to put it all out there, guys, one day. I'm going to tell you every single thing that happened. Not now, but probably. So we came home. And I remember when we left the house, Bob said, we're leaving as 2 and coming back as 3. When we came back home, it was more like 2.5. I was not the same person that had left the house 5-6 days beforehand. I could not stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop seeing the visuals. I became the protector. I had to be the one to now make sure everything was okay. I had to lock the doors 100 times, or was afraid to, it was hard to walk anyway. But I didn't want to leave the house only for doctor's appointments, that's it, because I had to. My body was swollen, my legs were probably 3 times what they are now, just with fluid, my legs and feet. I used to say I was like Barney Rubble, you know, with the feet. And it was really difficult to get around. My stomach, it looked like it just had a football just kind of shoved in it. It was such a strange shape, you know. So my doctor calls Dr. B. He calls me probably, well, he called me a lot to make sure I was okay, which is rare, and I'm very thankful. He called me one day to ask how I was doing. I'll never forget, I was sitting at the computer looking at, you know, Baby Center, or Urban Baby, you know, all this stuff. In a daze. Baby was sleeping, Bobby was sleeping. And I was just in a daze. And he said, how are you doing? And I said, I'm great. So it's just a natural response. And someone asked, I'm good. You know, what else are you going to say? I'm good. He said, you're good? What? He said, I don't think you're good. I said, what do you mean? He's like, well, let's just talk. Tell me what's been going on at home. And I said, oh, you know, breastfeeding's going well, this and that, giving a rundown. He said, well, how are you sleeping? I said, well, I have a newborn, so, you know, I'm not sleeping. He said, well, are you getting any rest, any sleep? And I said, no. He said, so you're not getting 1 hour of sleep a night? I said, no. And I said, I don't want to. And he said, why not? I said, because I'm afraid to sleep. If I sleep, I might die, I might bleed, and I won't know I'm bleeding. If I close my eyes, again, closing my eyes. If I close my eyes, I might die. I need to always be awake so I can know if I'm going to bleed. So as we talked about some of the things that were happening, me replaying the visuals, again with the television screen where I could see his hand and the massaging and everything, he said to me, you know, I think you might have post-traumatic stress disorder. And it was a term at the time that, of course, I had big, you know, I think everyone mostly associates it with war veterans, you know. And I felt strange. I said, that's just so weird. You know, I don't think I can be in the same category as someone who's in Afghanistan getting shot at and all this stuff. And he said, no, that's exactly what it's like. That's exactly what you've been through. You've been through hell. You've been through a war. And you fought and you came out on the other side, but there's damage there. There's trauma there. There's memory there. And you need to get some help. I need you to come and see me soon. So at my next appointment with him, he handed me a list of therapists. And I love that. They just give you a list, you know. We joke about it now. I tell them, like, thanks for the list. because it was ridiculous. I found my own person, but thanks for the list, you know. You need to really make sure you know all those people before you just give somebody a list. So I always say, you know, because I was telling a few of you about our house and how we do all this work on it and all this stuff, to pick a person to paint our house. I interviewed 10 people. I got all these quotes, did all this research, put it on a message board. Has anybody used this person? Did you like this? Whatever. To pick a therapist, oh, which one's closest to my house? Oh, okay, good. All right, yeah, she went to Cornell. All right, sounds good to me. Oh, good. Oh, Harvard too. Oh, great. Oh, yeah, she knows she's done. Okay, great. All right, doesn't want her. It was a disaster. My first therapist, a disaster. I say first because I went back. A disaster. It was like a very, she had a very sort of, like I was being interrogated was her style. You know, and we would just sit across from each other, and it was just weird. It was very strange. She would just ask me questions like, what was it like for you when you were 6 years old? And I was like, I just want to talk about the surgery. I want to talk about why I'm still seeing blood at night. I want to talk about the fact that my body hurts, and it's hard for me to hold my child. You know, I want to talk about the fact that I missed out on the first few moments of my child's life. And I'm very upset and very angry about that. And it was just all these questions from her. And I would leave shaking, physically shaking and just distraught. And it would linger with me for a few days. And so I tried her for a couple of months, and I said, I don't think this is what therapy is supposed to be. You know, I know that it involves work, and you do have to work through difficult feelings. And sure, you're going to have emotions that come up, but this isn't what it should be like. And so I stopped going. I decided to throw myself into being a mom. I joined mother's group at a hospital, which was great because I met other moms, you know, that had same age kids. I signed up for all these mommy and me classes with my daughter. And then our support group met every Tuesday at 11 o'clock. And there was a nurse and lactation consultant as well as a therapist there. And they would always ask you every Tuesday what was the best of your week and the worst of your week. And so as I'm listening to everyone's stories, this is my first time especially, I'm listening, and everyone's like, oh, I can't get the baby to latch, and the next person's like, oh, you know, I've only gotten 2 hours of sleep, and it's coming around to me, I'm like, how am I going to tell everyone that I almost died, and so I just kind of skipped over my story. Because I didn't feel like, how am I going to tell this group of strangers this? These people have no idea. They're talking about latching and this and that. There's no way I can tell this story. You know, I think I just felt like no one could relate. Little did I know there were several people in the room that could relate. It was much later that I would find that out. So everything got better. I threw myself into being a mom, joined classes, everything, I felt good. You know, I said, okay, you know, I think I'm going to be okay. I still had the emotions and feelings behind it, but I was managing it okay. So I thought. A year later, after having lunch with a friend, we took our little girls out to get frozen yogurt. Yogurt shop's 2 blocks away from my OBGYN, by the way. Now, after the surgery I had with Gigi's birth, I would bleed a lot for months, off and on, and that was normal. You know, it's just how it is when you have that sort of surgery. You're just going to see a lot of blood for a while. Then I'd go a month with no blood, then I see little trickles. So this particular was May of 2011. She was 12 months old at this point. And I noticed for a few days I had a little bit of blood. But I'm just thinking, I mean, I was like CVS. I had everything in my bag, you know, at this point, because I'm always expecting blood. We're in the yogurt shop, and I say to my friend, I said, Val, do you mind watching Gigi? I need to go to the bathroom. I think I got my period. I go in the bathroom, and I take my pants off, and I look down, and blood's just leaking like a faucet. This is a year after Gigi's birth. You know, I don't even know what's going on now. And Dr. B always told me, if you fill up a pad within 30 seconds to a minute, ER. I change the pad, boom, it's filled up. Now it's coming out. I can't even stop it. I take a big roll of paper towels in the bathroom, roll it up as much as I can to make it kind of heads up, and I can feel it. Now I'm 2 blocks from his office. I tell Val, look, I gotta go. I'm gonna go to Dr. B's office. I'm bleeding again. In a yogurt shop. The visuals, the public can see this. The humiliation of having strangers watch blood leak through your pants as you go down the street. I'll never forget, I had on these green cargo pants and these new, cool, mom walking tennis shoes. You know, I was so excited to get them. And I had maybe gone a block before they were filled with blood. And strangers looking at me, pointing, you know, the visuals of all this. Going up to the doctor's office, blood in the elevator, blood up the little steps. And I still think about the poor women's faces in his office when I walked in with my blood. I felt horrible, you know, thinking, oh man, these poor pregnant women are seeing all this stuff. And they got me into a room very quickly and they called 911. And they, you know, I'm being asked all these questions. And not for anything, but after you go through what I've been through, it's not like you're having a lot of sex. It's hard to be touched. Another thing I talk about a lot. It was so, you know, they were like, you think you're pregnant? And I was like, no. It was just, you know, because after everything that happened, it was just so hard to touch anyone but my daughter. I didn't want even to just hold hands. We literally had to start from the beginning. Let's hold hands and let's move on to a hug and we'll see where that gets us, you know. So we get to the emergency room. Bobby was working in the city and had to come, you know, to New Jersey, so it took him a couple hours. My Gigi had to go with my friend, so again, I'm worried about her, all this stuff. So when I get to the ER, the attending doctor there, because I had to wait for my doctors to come, I'll never forget the way he looked at me. And I just did a portrait for a project called Exposing the Silence, talking about birth trauma in terms of how the trauma of a physician to a patient. And this attending ER physician was so nasty. He walks in and he just pushes my leg with hard. And he takes like a stick. And I felt like something was in there, like I felt pressure, so I was nervous. Just felt like I was gonna hemorrhage and something was gonna come flying out. And he just looked at me like he was disgusted. And he just poked and prodded around and just was, I mean, he looked like he had seen the most disgusting thing in his life. You know, I'll never forget that. And so the nurses, again, they were great. They stayed with me. My wonderful doctor came later on. But as soon as he walks in, he says, hey guys, I'm sorry to tell you lost your baby. What? What? We were pregnant? Yeah, we had sex one time. I felt like one of those after school specials where they said, you know what, you're pregnant one time. You always, you know. It was so traumatizing for so many reasons because one, when you're trying to get pregnant, you think about it, you're doing all the right things, I had all sorts of coffee, I'm thinking about wine, like all this stuff. I'm like, I was in no position to, and also after an embolization, it takes about 18 months or 2 years before someone should even try that again. You really, so obviously we're trying. And we did, we had sex one time and I was pregnant. So to hear you lost your baby, well, to me that meant so many things because I already had a baby. So when you have a visual that you already have a child, you're thinking, who was that person? What did I do? Because having a child, now you're able to put something so concrete to what that means to lose one. You understand that little tiny egg, it becomes this amazing creature, So that was really tough. And again, back to an emergency surgery because I'm hemorrhaging again. Had to have an emergency D&C. Now this time, I had anesthesia and I wasn't awake for it. I woke up, it was over. I spent the night in the hospital. And we lived so close, we actually walked home. And it was just so odd. So at that point I was thinking I cannot be the only person in the world that these things happen to. And statistically speaking, I shouldn't even be here to tell you about it. I shouldn't even be here to tell you about it. because most women who would be in that situation, they wouldn't make it, especially 2 times in a row, basically. So it was really at that point that I felt called to tell my story, but I had to do some healing first. And that's when I made the decision, I need to go back to therapy, I have to do the work. Because the house was tense. Being in the house was tense. Because now I've been through this again, you haven't. It's happened to me again. What have you been through, I would say, Rob? Nothing. It keeps happening to me. Why me? Nothing bad ever happens to you, I would say. You know, so the anger was just building. And I didn't want it to start affecting Gigi. Because then now she's, 13, 14 months old, they feel everything. They feel all your emotion. So I remember Googling, I go to Tribeca Therapy, I used to go to. Rachel Benjamin, my therapist. And I remember Googling all the time, like PTSD childbirth therapist, like trying to find someone. And their website kept coming up just for a specialist in PTSD. It just kept coming up. And so literally every day for like 4 or 5 months, I would like Google it like it was new all over again and just stare at the screen. Then finally, I emailed Matt, the director. And he emailed me back right away, and then we had a conversation. He said, you know what? I think you and Rachel would be a good fit. I'll put you with her. And I was nervous to go back again. So I thought, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to spend all this money. I really hope I get a person who cares this time, who can help me. Because I'm willing to do the work. And when I met Rachel, she would always say to me, we're going to be partners. And I'd go, no, I don't do partners. I'm an only child. I've never done no partners. You know, that's my husband. I like to do my thing on my own. I don't do partners. This is as close as I've gotten. And she would say, no. She said, we're going to do this together. Now, it'd be like, it sounds so cliche, Rachel. Sure, we're going to do this together. That's what you have to say. She's like, no, we are. We're in this together. You and me, we're a team. And I would say, all right, whatever. And sure enough, she kept her into the bargain. And I got used to having a partner. I started to enjoy having a partner. She explained to me, this is going to be a lot of work. And I would say, how hard? What do you mean? She said, you won't know until we're getting through it. You'll understand what I mean. And each session, I realized that she was kind of steering this boat a certain way. Just waiting for me to recognize the course I wanted to go. But she was in control of letting me, just figure it out for myself. She kept me on a path without making it seem like I had to do A, B, C, D in a row. She could kind of see where I wanted to be, and she helped me get there. And so one of the things that we started talking about, I said, Rachel, I feel like I need to tell this story. She said, well, tell it. I said, what do you mean just tell it? She said, just write it. I said, well, I've been writing a lot. I couldn't sleep at night. I would get up and write all night long. All night long. I've just had to release it. And I said, it doesn't feel like enough. I feel like I need to really tell other people. But I'm nervous. Because once you come out and say, hey, I have PTSD, or hey, I have postpartum depression, I see what happens. I see people tweet people mean things or write things under Facebook. Or every time, next time you show up to the birthday party, maybe someone's like, that's the mom with, But it still didn't feel complete, no matter what I did. It was just, I had to really tell people the story. And so every session, we would talk about many, many things. And one of them was, why was the writing so important to the healing? Well, for one, it's just a release. And I don't like to exercise, so it was a good release. Because I like to do yoga, but I'm not a person going to soul cycle and all this kind of stuff. So it was a good release of energy for me, and I love to write. The next thing about it was, I just felt like there had to be other women who experienced the same thing, but maybe they needed to connect with someone, and maybe they don't like to share personal things. So maybe I could be the one to put it out there and say, hey, this is okay. But it took a while to get there. So eventually I did. I wrote my first blog post in July of 2012. Well, I wrote it before then, but that's when I actually posted it. I remember I paced the kitchen back and forth, back and forth. And finally, I just went like this and hit publish. And I waited. And then I looked at the Twitter and I see notification. Woman in South Africa. Oh my goodness, I have PTSD too after childbirth. I can't believe I found your blog. And I just sat there staring, I couldn't believe it. I live in a rural area, she wrote. I have no resources. Can you help me? Can I help her? I would love to be able to help her, I thought, but what can I do? All I do is, So I was able to connect her with a message form, but I don't know anyone in South Africa, no doctors, and I'm thinking, how can I help her? And I think, keep writing, keep talking. This is how you're going to help. Keep going. Just back to the voice when I was in the hospital saying, don't close your eyes, keep going, keep going. It was the same thing, keep going. And so I did. And then Christy Turlington came across one of my blog posts on Twitter. And again, I'm just having one of these crazy moments and sitting there, notification. And Christy Turlington, I'm like, oh, okay, who's punking me, really? And it says, hi, Timoria McQueen, please DM me. I want to talk. I'm like, okay, Christy Turlington, sure, And sure enough, it was her. Well, she had postpartum hemorrhage too with her first child, which is why she founded Every Mother Counts. She brings a lot of attention to maternal health, especially maternal mortality worldwide. And so I wrote for Every Mother Counts, and they published it, and then after that it snowballed. Next thing you know, Huffington Post. The first article I wrote for Huffington Post is called What No One Is Talking About, Maternal Mortality, Physical, Mental Trauma in the United States. And when I wrote that, the response was amazing. I got emails from people all over the world, small towns, large cities, everywhere. And then I thought, okay, what now? What do I do now? Well, I realized there was a lot we weren't paying attention to. There's a lot of bills that come and go, nobody sees, all about maternal mortality. No one sees them. They get introduced every year and then they just go away because no one's paying attention. No one's bringing them up. So that's something that I started doing was writing about the bills, making people aware of those, doing petitions. I actually had gone to Congress to meet with people down there. All of it was fulfilling for me. It was all a part of the healing, but really it was the connecting to other people. It began when people were sharing their stories with me. See, all this time I thought I was by myself. Just writing, talking. All that time, I thought, I'm just doing this for myself. I need to release this. But then, in return, what I got was, you're not alone. And that really started to become the core of my message. And I would always write at the end of everything, remember, you're not alone. And people are afraid. You guys have patience. They're afraid to talk. They're afraid. I'm just telling you, I used to lie to my doctor all the time. I'd go in, hey, everything's good. We'd go leave the office, cry all the way back home. And I would tell them that. I used to tell them, I used to lie to you so much, but, then I stopped. Because I realized it wasn't getting me anywhere. But I never lied to my therapist, not once. Because I felt a connection to her right away. And I knew that really to do the work, to really be a true partner, I had to be honest about it. And we worked on everything. The home life of a patient who's been through a birth trauma is very difficult because you're learning how to be a mom. You're still trying to be a wife. But then the wife part, sometimes you just don't even care because you're so focused on just your own. I had to focus on just providing for my child, making sure she's alive every day. And so, in therapy, I really learned how to rebuild my relationships, but it was like someone who, you know, if they're in an accident, had a stroke, and they lose all their memory. I really lost a lot of memory of what my relationship with Bob was like before this happened. Because again, I came home a different person. I'm like, you might be the same, but I'm not at all. Not one bit. So we had to start all over from scratch, really, and rebuild. And there were so many times where I just get frustrated, you know, but I kept working on it. And so making the decision to have another child took many years in the making, because it took a couple years for me just to not think I was going to hemorrhage to death sleeping in the middle of the night. Once I got past that, then it was, I already have this one gorgeous child. Why would I risk it again? Why? I felt so selfish, so guilty. I'm an only child. My mother's an only child. It doesn't matter. I always wanted to have a lot of kids. I always saw myself with 3 or 4. You know, all of them running down, you know, holiday time. And I thought, I can't do this to her. Why would I do it? But we talked about it. It was scary. We wanted to expand our family. But it felt so selfish. There was a lot of guilt involved, especially on my end, because I had so much, just the feelings of what I had gone through, looking at her face in the bassinet, and now, you know, she was 3 and a half when I got pregnant. And I'm like, she's a real person now. I know her. Her personality, her needs, her wants, her desires. I picture what kind of occupation she's gonna have. I don't want to just miss it. What if I die? All for my selfish wanting to expand the family. But then I thought, I don't really think of it as selfish. You know, and that's something that the patient really struggles with. Now, some people have a postpartum hemorrhage at the end of having a few kids, and so then they're like, I'm done. But when it happens on your first, it's so hard to think about doing it again, because you really, truly understand the risk. You know what the reward is, and it's awesome, but the risk is great. And so we decided that we wanted to do it again. I had every test in the world, every test you can imagine. No pre-existing conditions. Saw high-risk specialists in addition to my OB. The only thing that they said might be an issue was because of the surgery, I didn't have the physical room like I had before, so I probably have a smaller baby. Okay. And so the year went on, and I was still talking and teaching, and people would always say, is it weird talking about this while you're pregnant? And it was always kind of an interesting question, especially as I got bigger. Once I really started to feel her, the weight of her, and see the visual of my stomach growing, that's really where it started to hit me. And around 30 weeks, I had my first nightmare. And Bobby, you probably remember. I was asleep, or he was asleep, and I woke up and I was like, you know. And he just grabbed my hand. He said, "It's not going to happen this time. We're going to be okay." Like he knew already what the dream was, what it was, you know. And so I decided to take a break for a little while from talking to people. I talked to my physician about that. He said, "Yeah, take a break. You need to just go through this. Just take it all in. Take a break. Your work will still be there when you get back to it. Take a break." I said, "Okay." Well, everyone thought I was going to have her early, 38, 39 weeks. 40 weeks comes and does nothing. I said, here we go again. 40 weeks. She's not moving. She's not coming out at all. Now, I'm running out of room. My fluid was low. So, literally just in the bed, hydrating all day. 41 weeks. Nothing. we really tried to stretch it as long as we could to have the baby.